Now, General Nishimura, well, he graduated in the Army Staff College, went into Army Engineering School, and pretty much held pretty much a staff and administrative job. Now, how did he come to prominence? Well, when the Japanese military assassinated the Prime Minister Inuaki Tsuyoshi in 1932, he was one of the presiding judges over the guilty. And he ensured that they all received very light sentences. Now, who took command of Japan in the aftermath was pretty much the military. So, as a reward, he was given command of the Imperial Guards Division, which was just a prestigious post. Now, as we said in our previous episodes, they are no longer like the Napoleonic era Guards divisions where you'd expect not only your tallest and strongest men, but these are your elites. They are your best equipped, best trained, highly experienced soldiers. These guys are just existing, which is why you use the term chocolate soldiers.
Just to be specific, they were chosen specifically for their height and their looks, and they were not by any means a trained elite force. And all of the other Japanese units would mock them basically as chocolate soldiers. Yeah.
And he served a little bit in the Kwangtung Theater and was given command of the expedition that took part of the invasion of French Indochina as well. And 1941, he was given command of the division as it was earmarked for the Malayan Campaign. And this guy was a piece of shit.
Oh, yes.
And I think his units committed quite a lot of massacres against Indian, Australian, and British POWs and the local civilians, especially the Chinese origin as well, including the Parit Salong massacre. And his units would also conduct another even more graver massacre in the aftermath, which is why I will just say this. Despite even getting a victory citation, at the end of the war, he was tried by the British Military Tribunal for these war crimes and sentenced to life imprisonment, which was reduced to 4, and he was being sent back to Tokyo in 1950. But Australia did not forget, and they forcibly took him to Australia, tried him, and executed him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think he was also put in by Hideki Tojo in particular to keep a check on General Yamashita, who was in Tojo's eyes, along with Yamamoto, the biggest military rival he could have.
Yeah, because this episode is going to be far too long, I don't want to delve too far into it, but Yamashita's career is military achievement and then forced into exile, military achievement and then forced into exile about 3 times. And it's literally because he was seen as one of the main leaders of the opposite faction to Hideki Tojo, and Tojo rightfully feared he would be usurped because Tojo, for those who don't know, he will lose power during World War II. If Yamashita was more present, if Yamashita was physically in Japan, mind you, he probably would have been, he would have been placed as the second guy after Tojo, if not someone in the Navy, but then again, Yamamoto would have been killed. Regardless, I can't go too far into it, but
sure.
But Hideki Tojo, he had placed, we will call them spies, and Nishimura is one. The other one is going to be a guy called Tsuichi Masanobu, who we might talk about later. So, under the cover of darkness, the Imperial Guards Battalion boarded their boats, powered by pretty noisy engines, mind you. They headed for Ubin Island. To their astonishment, the noise did not alert the defenders, and they reached the island unopposed. Percival had actually decided not to station any troops on the island, which held the highest point of vantage overlooking Changi, due to insufficient manpower for its defense. Let's remember, Percival has 90,000 men, facing a force of 30,000. So this was an egregious error. Instead, he allowed it to be patrolled twice by the 4th Norfolks, who suffered their first casualty when they accidentally shot one another in the dark during a patrol.